Are you excited? Because I really, really am. Welcome to another episode of The Person Behind the Pen. Hello, hello, Chrissy. It's so great to see you. All right, so I know we had a little bit of a delayed start. Um, that would be Miss Nick Nevin Control over here, who, in an effort to be disciplined and time conscious, decides that she's going to set up her Tuesday and Thursday person behind the pen on StreamYard, one after the other. Except that when I do that, I grab the wrong invite link and send it to the guest, which just is, yeah. I'm like, hey, Jackie, where are you? She's like, I've been here. Where are you? I'm like, all right, yeah. Thank God we have those moments that, when you have a friend that gets you, then you don't really blubber over these blunders. You're just quite used to them, and you just roll. So I want to welcome everyone in. Hello, Noni Varani. It's so great to see you. Go check out Noni's post on biscuits. Like, she totally got under my skin today because now I want biscuits and gravy. Hello, Linda. It's so nice to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in a little bit, so welcome. Leslie, let's go. We're reading one book today, one chapter, not six books, but cool. Love the comment. Just too darn cute. Jenny girl in the house. It's time to fit. Hello, hello. I know Jackie's as excited as I am. And of course, I went right back up to the top because I want to say hi and make sure that I recognize everyone. And hello, Christy. All right. So, oh, look who popped in. Oh, my goodness. Shoot, Melissa, forgive me. I think that I was supposed to do something and I didn't do it. And well, we could talk about it after. But you're here. Awesome. All right. So, a people first professional networking platform was launched last year. It's a trilogy, and each book has 12 writers. Um, Division for this book. Well, it started out as a LinkedIn love affair, and then LinkedIn said, get lost, you absolutely cannot use our trademark in such a title. And okay, fine, I accepted it and moved on. Not before I gave the poor writers some stress because I delayed the launch. Um, but I believe that I was as transparent as I could be and inclusive with the new title. Um, Jackie and I have known each other a while, and I share all the time where I can that before I met her, I never thought about reentry. I didn't even think of it as a word, honestly. It just wasn't a word in my vocabulary. And it's be, it's come to mean so much to me now that I actually talk to my husband about it. I talk to my son about it. There's sometimes in a conversation where it just comes up. Um, and it's a part of life, of our world, that many times we just don't think about, follow or focus on. And then there are so many other facets to Jackie herself, um, on a personal level. And the things that she does professionally are really tied into who Jackie is personally. Um, when she said that she wanted to write in this trilogy, of course I was happy. I'm happy when anybody says they want to write in any project that I'm working on. But true to my form, I think people know that the why is very important to me. If I don't resonate with your why, and that might sound a bit judgmental and picky, it's okay. I get to actually run my business the way I want to. And the way that I want to run it is coming from that space of what is your why? And is your why at the end of the day really about helping people, really about sharing stories, because sharing is caring, and because somebody could possibly read your story, you will never meet them, and it will change something Not that you're counting the pennies adding up on the Amazon royalties. That is not where my heart is. It can never be there. And the day that it is, these doors will close and Nick will go back to work for sure. So lots of blah, blah, blah. And I need to bring Jackie up here because, well, I just have to. Right after I say hello to Gregory, how are you? Oh, you're double booked, but that's okay. We'll take any time that you have. Hello, Brenda Lees. How are you? I'm definitely going to throw this out there really quick. Something pretty cool is coming down the pike in terms of a collaboration from Brenda Lees and myself, and I can't wait to talk about it. All right. So enough of all that. And Jackie, hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. I wouldn't even ask you if you forgive me for my madness of giving you the wrong link because you're like one of the first people that always tells me and others to give themselves grace.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll leave it at that.
It only gave me a tiny bit of stress. I'm like, she's got this. She gave me a 2-minute reminder, and I'm just sitting there. Okay, it's been almost 2 minutes. Where is she?
I tend to land on my feet most of the time. And if I do land on my bum, I can pretty bounce back up pretty quick. So
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. It cost us a few minutes, and but I'm good. All right. So I could ask you a million questions, of course, but I do want you to get into the reading because that's where I know people really want to dig in. But if you want to share with us who Jackie is professionally and who Jackie is personally, so people have a little background before we jump into a themed chapter or themed story. Um, let's go.
It's so funny because I reread the story this morning and so many things have changed. Like some of the numbers I put in there, the dates and different things like that. And it's like, even checking my bio, I'm like, oh my gosh, it wasn't even a full year ago that we launched this, Nick. And it's like, how many things can change that quick? It's wild. So Gregory's commenting on my glasses. You're right, Gregory. Almost nobody will see me in my glasses on a live. However, I took the day off today so I could go to the eye doctor and then to donate blood. So my eyes are all a mess, and I'm going to be reading live from my chapter with dilated eyes. So this is what you get. So I've been practicing a little bit, like how far do I got to put the book away so I can actually see it. But you get to see me in glasses. I kind of got a glare going. I'm going to be ordering some new glasses without glare. So sorry, you guys got to see some light shining on my glasses. So if you need to turn off the video and just listen to the story, it doesn't talk a lot about me personally in this chapter that I'm doing. Nick kind of alluded to the word re-entry. Some people don't even know what that means. They tend to think it might mean something in regards to coming back into the workforce or coming back from another country. But when we talk the word re-entry, we're talking about crime. We're talking about coming back from detention, from jail, from prison. So my day work is clouded with people that have committed crimes. And we're not talking little baby crimes. We're talking everything under the sun. I work both with juveniles and adults, and then I also work with their families, and I work with the victims of crime. So day job is tough. It's intense. It is something that not a lot of people can do this kind of work as long as I've done. But the reason that I can do it is because I find the hope and the joy in just about every human interaction I have. And even when it's tough, even when people are not very nice to me, I find ways to supplement that. And part of it is my traveling. So Nick knows that's part of my side stuff, is not just for business, but also for my therapy. My therapy is traveling, getting to see beautiful sights, being able to explore water things. I love hot springs and waterfalls and of course oceans. But really being able to reach out to other people and being able to connect with other humans is super important to me. If you follow me on LinkedIn, I write very long posts. They're really trying to get to that mental wellness aspect. It's really to try to highlight how we can take care of ourselves. And part of that is by highlighting other humans and realizing that we are all more alike than we are different, even though we want to pit each other against each other. So part of my chapter you're going to hear about in a few minutes is somebody very special to me that opened up my world on LinkedIn way more than if I would not have been connected with this human. So you get to hear a little bit about that background. If you're connected with me on other social media platforms, I'm a different person. Not that I have different values, but I talk differently because When you're surrounded by family and friends, it's different. However, not many. Like I get a lot of comments on my from family and friends about some of the stuff I do on other social media pages. However, they don't talk about my books. I think I can count on one hand out of 4 anthologies, 2 of which were done through Nick, that people have actually in my hometown, in my home family, in my home everything, that have shared that they've actually either purchased the book, downloaded it, or asked to borrow it to read my chapter. So reading it tonight, Nick, is kind of different. This is more of a happy anthology. Some of my other ones were a little more intense. And that's why I wanted to do this one first as a live reading, because I don't want to get emotional, especially knowing that I had the medical stuff today. So I just want to thank you, Nick, because letting people put their voice in paper for whoever in the world wants to see it is something that not all of us know how to do on our own or want to do on our own. But with your guidance and your support and having so many awesome co-authors, it made it super easy and it made it fun. And even though this is a funner chapter, you would probably yell at me for writing the word funner in a book, but it's something that it felt so good to share this part of me with other people. And I really hope some people can learn from my chapter that it's okay to step out of your comfort zone. It's okay to learn new stuff. It's okay to meet people that are not like you, or somebody that you've met, or somebody that you know of somebody else that knows. It's like, get out there and meet people, and it's going to change your world. I promise you.
Awesome. So, it's when I think of you saying the word funner, I'm like, italicize, put it in inverted commas. I don't care what you do. It was somebody the other day, because I'm reviewing chapters right now for the next one, and she wrote sandwich, and she said I could fix it. I'm like, why on earth would you fix it? You and your dad called it a sandwich, and that's really a big part of, I think, the differentiation in the way I run the publishing company is I really do want people to express themselves the way that they would. Is funner a word? No. Would people understand what funner meant? Of course. But I want you to share a word that nobody's ever heard before because there is no meaning and they will never get it? No, because it's just going to hurt your story. Right? They're going to lose touch with you right away. But just that, and then before you start, do you want to take this question from Leslie? Can you see it on the screen?
I would love to. So I did not get drawn to reentry, Leslie. Reentry got drawn to me. I wanted to be a social worker and just help little kids that were sad. And I wanted to be able to work in schools and help them out to make sure that they weren't being bullied or they weren't sad for what happened at their homes. So I knew I wanted to help kids. I did not know that I would be yanked from working in a school 2 months after I started doing that work and be told by my boss, guess what? Now you got to work with kids that get in trouble with the courts. And I'm like, I don't work with criminals. I've been a victim of crime. I don't work with them. And he's like, well, now you do. So good luck. And I have never turned back. I mean, I've loved it. Even when I've done other jobs that are similar, they're still in that restorative reentry space. And I am a better person because of working with people that I didn't think I would want to work with, that I thought were so different from me, and they're not. And it is something that too many people lose hope in this field. Too many people think of all the doom and gloom and that people are never going to change and that the system is made to break you down, and it is. However, that's why we got to stay passionate about it. So I am drawn to it for the rest of my life in whatever capacity I am meant to be in, but I do encourage everybody to get to learn about it, because you never know when you or somebody you love is going to be on the other side of the courthouse.
It's the absolute truth. We don't know what could happen. All right, great. So thanks for answering that for her. And whenever you're ready, you want a sip of water, you want to get yourself readjusted, and then you just go for it.
Well, I'm ready to go. So I may need to take a drink at some point. Nick had put in the title of it type of thing about how fast I talk. I am going to try to be a little slower just because it's easier for people to listen to. But here's my book. I'm in the red book. We call it book 2, but I call it the red book. So I love it. And if you look at the back, there I am by some great people that are actually in the chat tonight. So I love this. This is my start. So I am chapter 4. and it's titled The Peacemaker, Tripmaker, and Dreamer. This was my tagline on LinkedIn for multiple years, and it just felt like, since I'm talking about my experience on social media, it should be the title of my chapter. So thank you very much, Nick. I am ready to start. All right, here we go, guys. When your smile is known around the globe, yet you aren't an actress or a rock star, you know it is because you are actively immersed in all things LinkedIn. Although I joined this platform 12 years ago, my love affair with LinkedIn really started 2 years ago. Now it's been about 3. And it gets stronger every day. The people I have met, the support received, the powerful information shared, the cultural connections, it just keeps getting better and better. I don't remember why I joined LinkedIn, as back then it was mostly for those looking for employment at that time. I hadn't wanted to switch any kind of jobs then. So for 10 years, I only jumped on when I saw a birthday message or when I needed to update my employment. I went at least 3 years without even logging in once because my old phone had it and it broke and I didn't want to deal with the download and try to figure out a password. But now I don't even go 12 hours without checking it. So professionally, I am an executive director of a nonprofit that focuses on reducing crime and conflict. I am a licensed master social worker and certified mediator, where that work can be tough and frustrating, yet it can also be rewarding and life-changing. When I decided to start sharing some of our work information on LinkedIn, I kept it focused only on my local community. I had zero idea just how many people from other cities, states, and countries would be looking at my post. It was a bit overwhelming at first, wondering why local people weren't reacting to the information I was sharing, yet people on the other side of the world would like, repost, or comment on it. Once I understood that LinkedIn was so much more powerful than other social media outlets, I started sharing content that was truly important to me: mental wellness, understanding the needs of reentry and second chances, solo travel experiences, and just about anything to bring happiness and more smiles to the world. At first, these were just word posts that didn't get much traction. So I would add a random selfie to the words and boom, people started realizing there was a real person behind the intense words that I shared. Comments from followers saying my smile changed their day for the better started pouring in. At first, I was a little surprised as there are so many smiling faces on social media, but the response was more than just a compliment. It seemed like a genuine way I was offering more kindness to the world just by sharing a picture with a smile. So now, occasionally, the pics led to some interesting and outrageous direct messages, but the good outweighed the bad. And at the same time, LinkedIn really stepped up their game to remove inappropriate messages to others. So thankfully, those unsolicited messages started to dwindle, and I could focus on real connections and getting my messages out to the world. My page was pretty slow moving for the first few months of being active. I then announced my side passion project called Tripping with Jax, where I encourage women to feel safer traveling solo, so that gained a bit of traction. Through these posts, I shared about my personal travels and created Zoom events where people could join to talk about travel. Although I didn't get much of a response to those events, I still decided to hold a holiday chat with Jax to share a place for those that may be alone on Christmas morning to have someone else to talk to. I thought with such a growing global network, there would be a ton of others wanting this virtual holiday experience, but only one person showed up. And that person changed my LinkedIn life forever. His name is Damian Kinsey. A few of you know him. And we had only had a conversation or two in the DMs before then, but we hadn't had any deep talks at that time. So when he showed up, I first thought it might be awkward, just the two of us on this holiday Zoom together. But wow, after maybe 2 minutes, it seemed like we had known each other for years. And guys, this was before audio events. We talked, and I was so glad to be there for him so he didn't have to spend the holiday alone. Except at the end, he shared that he wasn't alone. He was actually had family in the other room, but wanted to make sure that I wasn't alone for Christmas morning. So he joined just for me. I was shocked and so grateful to this man. He could have been doing anything else with his family other than talking to a near stranger on Christmas. I was honored for sure. After the initial Zoom, we kept in contact, and it was great having someone to talk to that was so positive and that worked in a similar capacity as I did. I finally decided to creep a bit more on his LinkedIn profile to learn more about him, as I figured he was fairly new to LinkedIn as well, and was shocked once again when I looked at his page and it showed he had over 8,000 followers. That was a year ago. You should see it now. I don't know if I had even hit 1,000 by that time. So thinking someone so connected to others still took that time for me, once again, blew me away. And I realized he was meant to come into my life for a reason. That reason took a few more weeks to figure out. I remember it was a lazy Sunday and I got a DM from Damien that had a link to click on. And because I trusted him, I decided to click it thinking I was going to be reading an interesting article. But that link was not an article at all. It was a link to my first ever audio event. Here I was with these new faces popping up and talking on my phone while I am looking so not camera ready. I had no idea if they could see me or hear me, or so I just froze and didn't know what to do. The conversation was interesting, but I was so confused on what it was. I just sat there scared to touch my phone. But in true Damien style, he messaged me asking me how I liked the audio event and if I had any questions. I wrote him back asking if anyone could see or hear me. And once he confirmed it was only audio for those that wanted to speak, I was able to relax and enjoy the show. Then a week or so later, Damien asked if I wanted to co-host an audio event with him. I was a bit nervous, but readily agreed and thought it would be a great way to support other people. We named this room Finding Your Purpose and wanted to focus on helping people in the nonprofit field from getting burned out because of the demanding positions. We had no idea what to expect, but we're happy to see so many people joining the Zoom. It felt so natural doing this room with Damien, like we had practiced it for years together. After the event was done, we both received many messages thanking us for the room and asking us to do it again. It was a great feeling to see we brought value to people, so we decided to make it a monthly event. So this is kind of not true. It says, you can still join our room the third Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're still deciding if that room's coming back or not, but you could have caught the old episodes, but they were not recorded. So let us know if you have questions on that. We then decided to add a second room each month to give more time for people to talk about their hopes, dreams, and ways they needed support. This room is called Wishful Wednesday and is generally the last Wednesday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. We just did our first live one back again last month. And so we're trying to decide if it's going to be every other month or back for a full month. It is the only room, back then at least it was one of the only rooms where you are encouraged to pitch your business while looking for your wishes to come true. Damien and I had been doing these rooms for over a year, and although we occasionally do solo rooms or other rooms with different co-hosts, we both still find so much value in the rooms we do together. Not only have these rooms brought some of the most amazing people in the world into my world, but I have learned so much from the people that come and share with us on stage. It shows the importance of connecting with others, and I rarely go a day now without popping into somebody else's audio event. Now lives. The rooms have really changed in my focus on how I show up on LinkedIn. Some people on social media strive for a large follower count and get worried if no one shows up to their audio events. For me, I realized on that initial Zoom meeting with Damien that just one person is all you need for a life-changing opportunity. Damien has connected me with tons of great people, and he has helped me use my voice in audio events, summits, and magazines. He has stood up for me when people acted inappropriately, and he checks in with me in both the good and the bad times of my life. I cannot imagine this LinkedIn journey or life without his true friendship, and I just can't thank LinkedIn enough for bringing us together. LinkedIn has brought many other great people into my life too. Friends I have been able to meet in person on travel, those I have joined on their podcast and as a guest in their events, my coach, Melissa Ann Houston, my fellow co-authors, so many of you guys listening tonight, in multiple anthologies, and this amazing trilogy, thanks to Nick, the Gifted Bipolar Writer. That's what she was called before. Now check out her Guiding Brilliant Writers. And those that are supportive from around the world. But not all social media encounters are positive. I have had my share of being played, being verbally harassed, and having my heart broken by people that were not truthful. Thankfully, the amazing has way outweighed the rough stuff. At times, there are still some frustrating comments, too many pitch slaps. Please don't pitch slap. those trying to steal your content, and people wanting to challenge your authenticity. But with growth comes haters, doubters, and those wanting to see you fail. The bumps can't stop my love of LinkedIn, as so many of my connections on here have truly become my true friends. I have launched 2 businesses, Tripping with Jax and Home Reentry Services, established multiple audio events each month, became an author, a co-author in a #1 international best-selling anthology. Now it's been more. Thank you, Nick. Have been a presenter in multiple online virtual summits, been in my first magazine, joined the 2350 network as a founding member, and maybe most importantly, made many people's day better just by sharing my smile pic, all due to LinkedIn. My LinkedIn love affair is still going hot and heavy, and I can't wait to see where it will take me in the future. That's the end of my chapter.
You see, I don't care what anybody says, but LinkedIn love affair works because an affair can go both ways. And so many have expressed through their stories that there are 2 sides. And I still think LinkedIn's doing themselves a disservice. Yes, I'm saying this, you can hear it, LinkedIn. I'm not picking this up. I'm just saying. This is like, you're talking about people that love and return to your platform. Not even just return. It's become such an integral part of my life.
Mhm.
So, I want to launch right into the chapter and share the backstage link for anybody that wants to come up. But I have to say hello to this virtual brother in Canada, my big brother, and this virtual brother, which is my Aussie bro. And I do have to say hello to, hi Jackie, hi Omar, how are you? It's so great for you to join us today. So tons of people are joining us.
Mhm.
And I want to highlight this comment, Wishful Wednesdays, the best energy. I agree with Randalise. And one of the interesting things that you did throughout your chapter is you paused here and there to share something you had shared that no longer is. Wishful Wednesdays is one that stopped and came
Mhm.
back.
Yep.
And that speaks to how this platform facilitates the constant evolving of our lives, professionally and personally. Um, we make circles, sometimes we veer off on different paths, but always there is growth in some direction with it.
Yes.
I would not obviously have met you had I come on LinkedIn. Um, and when I think of Damien and the friendship that we've established as well, everything that you say about Damien in your chapter is the Damien that I know. And that speaks to that buzzword authenticity that, people feel like, oh, it's overkill. But the truth is, it has a founding in its meaning somewhere. And so when you can see a person spread across time like that and still be recognized by someone who's known him a while and someone who's recently met him and still use the same words to describe that individual, that is authenticity to me.
He has over 21,000 connections now.
Right? From when you met him and he had 8 and you thought, oh my goodness, and you hadn't even had 1,000. So is there the potential to grow on this platform? Yes.
Mhm.
Can you grow rapidly? Yes. Um, what I've learned is that growing with intentionality
Yes.
changes the whole dynamic. And I, like Jackie, I'm actually on this platform about that time. I don't remember when I joined. I logged in once, logged out, and who knows when that was, maybe 12 years ago, 10, 8. But I did come back on mid 22. So
Mhm.
I'm just about going into my 3 years as well. And so much of this, and as with anything else in life, what attention you give, what nurturing you give, is the fruits or are the fruits that you bear. And that's exactly what happened here for me, exactly what I think happened here for Jackie and so many of us. And there are tons of co authors out there in the audience in this trilogy. And so I do have to throw a question at you. When was your first writing experience? What made you choose to write for publication? Would you do it again? I'm sorry, I'm loading you, but you know what? I know that Jackie is like can follow me. Um, would you do it when? Okay, so when did you first write? Why did you write it for publication? Would you do it again? And is there a solo book in the future?
Ooh, I love those questions. I remember I have a social worker brain and I almost never take notes when people are talking. So I got you. First of all, I have loved writing since like the day I can remember writing. It's funny because I used to think I was a star kid in school, Nick. I really did. I had no idea I had ADHD until my late 20s. And then I do remember getting pulled out of some classes, and it was always to like write words and to circle words. And I'm like, this is kind of boring. Why are we doing this? Why is there only like 4 of us leaving the class to do that? Now I know that they were worried about my attention and how I could really thrive in school, where I thought I was amazing. I thought I was like star pupil and little teacher pet. But apparently, because about 2 years ago, I looked through my old report cards, and every single one of my elementary teachers back then, they hand wrote your report cards, and they wrote little smiley faces or frowny faces. It was very, very tragic when I looked back. Every one of them talked about how distracted I was, and I'd be a much better student if I could focus and stop talking. And I'm like, me? I don't talk that much. Who are you talking about? I was good, Jackie. What are you talking about? But I used to love to write, and I used to get so bummed out if my story didn't get picked out, because sometimes the teachers would have you write a paragraph, a short story, and they would pull out the best 1 or 2 or 3 and read them out loud to the kids. I used to get so mad when I wasn't picked because I thought I was amazing. I do remember sometime in middle school, this was still pencil type of schoolwork, guys. This was way before you had Chromebooks at your desk at school. I wrote a story that I still someday go back and remember almost every word that I wrote, and it was called Play Ball. And I was never the kid that was picked in gym class to be first or second or 10th on the team. I was always one of the last ones. And so I wrote a story actually about the guy that I had a crush on back then being the pitcher of the other team, and me being the last one up to bat. When the bases are loaded, they thought Jackie was going to screw up and get struck out and they would win. I ended up hitting a grand slam in my story, and I still remember that. And I know I've got it somewhere, but I do need to find it. And I always said that I would write children's books, and I always said that I would publish books, that I would be an author. I always thought I was going to do like fiction, though. I really thought I would write romance novels and stuff that I used to like to read when I was younger. I was reading books that were this thick when I was in elementary, like high elementary, low middle school. My mom had tons of books in a bookcase, and I would just go and grab them. Gone with the Wind, The Exodus, books that I shouldn't have even known those words at my age. And I was reading those, and I knew that I wanted to be published. A lot of my friends and family knew that I wanted to be published someday. Didn't think it would really happen. And again, on LinkedIn, somebody had posted about wanting to publish an anthology on divorce. And I'm like, whew, divorce changed my life in so many ways. And I'm like, I'm ready to get my story out on that. Well, it was not a great experience. The publisher literally had you sign a form, sent your stuff in, and said, okay, your stuff's going to be published. They never critiqued it. They never asked for information. They never connected us with the co-authors. It was kind of just like a jip. But I mean, it's a real book. It's in print. You can buy it. But I've never read it. I never went back and read my story. And then I was fortunate to be part of the Beyond Boundaries series. And I shared a story about my victimization. And I had probably only even talked. See, I do come up with other words, Nick. I probably had only shared some of those details with maybe 3, 4, 5 people in my entire life. And literally I put detail in that chapter. And when I realized I could write something so personal, a divorce and a victimization, I realized it was time to really focus on a personal book. And so I got probably 80% of my first travel 101 book already ready to go. And then I had one of those it's not good enough. There's too many other travel books. Why in the world are you writing this book? And I stepped away from it. And then I saw you posting about, before it became a trilogy, I heard you posting about this LinkedIn love affair. And I'm like, oh, I love LinkedIn. And oh my gosh, that would be great. But I need to write my own book. And I'm probably don't have a good enough story. And I think she's already got enough authors. And then you made a post about you were about ready to close, or you had just closed. And I sent you a message. I'm like, if anybody else drops out, I think I'm ready to write with you. And lo and behold, you said, I'll get back to you. And the next minute you're like, I'm turning it into a trilogy, the first simultaneously launched trilogy. And I was just like, this is amazing. I get to be in it. And I had no idea who you would pair up in each book. Each book is so powerful. The green, the blue, the red. I love them all. I love people in every one of your books. But I really think that the people you picked for the red book, it was just a really good blend of stories. And it really felt like I am going to be, guys, I'm on the cover with these people for like the rest of the world, not even the rest of my life. Some of these people, like I talk to daily, I go to their shows. I want to learn more about them. I see them commenting. I see them changing the world. I see so many great stuff. There's a few that aren't quite as active anymore, or they're busy in their own world that I need to reconnect with, but good stuff, good stuff. And our faces are ever connected with Nick as our publisher for that. So yes, I have 3 different books for sure that I want to publish, and there's 1 or 2 kind of extra. I want to still publish my travel book, but I don't know if I want to change it up or not. I want to write a book on reentry. I think it's really important coming from my experience, because so many of the reentry books out there are just from people that have been in prison themselves, which is super important. I mean, like, it's so powerful. But I think people that want to work with this population need to hear it from somebody that has literally been doing this work for 22 years before the word reentry was even a word. And then I want to write a book about my dad. My dad changed the trajectory of my life multiple times, and I think he deserves to be honored. And I think there's so much mental health connected to his story, especially for strong, powerful men to hear, that I think it's something that has to be put out there. And I am struggling with knowing that everybody that I want to be able to read that is going to be okay with everything that's shared in that. So I'm still kind of making sure that I'm okay with getting that out into words at this time. So it's definitely there. And if you are still in the publishing business, because you are still doing your authentic stuff, you will definitely be my publisher, and we will be on that walk together. But I don't see me working on any of that until at least next year.
Okay, you see what I mean by I know she could follow me, because she hit every single one of the questions. I want to say a quick hi to Peter. Hello, Peter. Thank you for joining us. Wow. Okay, so I don't even know what to touch on. Have I gone through those periods where I'm like, I'm not good enough to be in this? Yes. Have I moved beyond that? Yes. Do I still occasionally have that thought? Yes. Your story is not different than some others who have also started a solo book journey, and for one reason or the other, it's not completed. And I always feel that stories will see the light of day if they need to and when they need to. We all have from now to the rest of our lives to publish if that's what we so choose to do. Fortunately, this is not a time-focused thing. And yes, of course, if I'm around, I would more than certainly be honored to work with you. Not if I'm around. I can't say that. I have to take the cocky stance and say, when you're ready, I'll be here. Because I must think I've already made it, and, I'm just moving along, which I think I am. So anyway, I love the idea of a reentry book from your standpoint. I really do. I don't want to say that I'm sad that your first writing experience was what it was, but what I'm really happy about is that you chose to try again. I see this often on this show, and it's something that I do take a lot of accountability for, and I put it on myself, is that I do feel the first time you publish that experience could make or break you ever wanting to write again, ever wanting to publish again. And that's why, it means the world to me that you feel that the experience that you had sharing your story here and with the people you shared it with was enough for you to say, you know what, I want to come back and do it a second time. So yes, we will have Jackie back and she will read again. Different type of story. I am also thinking to myself that I guess I'm thinking to myself, when we have this show, for example, right? So many stories have come out, and the stories are just a small part of that person's life. I wonder what it would be like for somebody to actually have a series on themselves. I mean, like actually a tracking of your journey throughout your life. Because this trilogy was published, God, about 6 months ago. It feels like it was been forever
It
because
was
so
like
much
September,
changed.
October, right?
Yes. So 6, 7 months. So much has changed.
Yeah.
For both of us, we're up here living proof of just how much has changed. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of changes, we want to know what Jackie's up to because I know all you're up to. So I know everybody else knows.
Oh, you don't know all
How?
of it, girl. I got some more stuff behind the scenes that's
Oh,
about ready
God.
to pop.
Oh,
Okay, so let's start. Sunday night, Emotional Women. Melissa and I have a huge, big announcements to share on Sunday night. So you want to come join us. Again, it is not just for women. It is not just for people that have emotional deregulation or want to talk emotions. We do so much information that we're going to share. So make sure to check us out. You can go to the Emotional Women on LinkedIn and you can see the link to the event. Tomorrow, I'm going to be with Dr. Q, and she is doing a mental health month wrap up and really focusing on men's mental health. So that's going to be at noon Eastern Standard Time. Sunday with Melissa is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right before the 2350 Effect show with Damien and Dr. Dr. Tanya. Did you hear me? I just said Dr. Kinsey. Maybe I'm putting that out into the universe. He's going to become a doctor before too long. I like that. Monday, Just Jax. So I have started a series called Just Jax and Guest that is every single Monday at 8 or at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So those of us on the East Coast, it's kind of late at night, especially after a long Monday. For those in other time zones, it might be the morning, the middle of the night, earlier in the day. But it was the only time all week I could 100% commit to a weekly time. So Tuesdays, I still do stuff at different times, and everything like that. So I did that, and I just celebrated my first 2 months. So super excited to see how that's going. I'm trying to highlight other humans, and it's not just the people that are already doing shows. It's people from my personal world and people that are from nonprofit sector and people that don't even know how to do a LinkedIn page or don't want to be on social media. And so you are getting to see some people that are connected to me personally in a couple different ways, and people that have reached out through LinkedIn or other social media that want to let people know who they are. It is kind of a pitch zone, but it is also focused. I have 3 main questions I ask everybody. You talk a little bit, the audience asks some questions, and you're on your way out because it's something to get a teaser out to people. And on my 2-month anniversary, which was this Monday, and you can catch all of my shows on my YouTube channel, which is at Jackie Hallberg LMSW. I announced that I am now going to be doing shorter pre-recorded sessions for those that are nervous to be on camera live or those that are in different time zones that 9 p.m. just doesn't work. So those will be started pretty soon. And then I'm also going to start mental wellness moment videos. So we're going to be talking about mental health, and I'm going to talk about one topic at a time. 1 minute it might be loneliness, 1 minute it might be depression, 1 minute it might be ADHD, 1 minute it might be relationship stress or different things that go along with anger. So definitely follow the YouTube channel. That's going to be huge. If you're not connected with me already on LinkedIn, please do that, because I'm not here to gain the numbers. I'm not here to have this huge following, except the more I can get the words out to more people, the more hopefully the stigma of mental health and mental wellness is going to be more positive, and the more we can get people to learn that we are so much more alike than we are different. huge thing for me. So those are my big things coming up. And actually on Monday, this coming Monday, which is June 2nd, two people that are in the audience, Miss Christy and Mr. Aaron, are the featured guests. So you guys want to be there. Christy is like this ultimate hype woman, and Aaron is this amazing mental health guru, and he's always highlighting other people. It's time to highlight him in a different capacity. So I'm super excited for that. I do have a lot of openings still, Nick. I'm almost booked for June, but July still has about 50% of the openings. So call me or get a hold of me. We want your voice out there. You don't have to have these certain, credentials behind your name. You don't have to have been on 5 million episodes. Gregory, he's in the chat too. I think he said mine was only the second time he'd ever been on camera like that. And he knocked it out of the park, guys. I mean, I send you this whole big list so you have all your questions answered about what's going to happen. I'm there to help you. I'm not there to try to catch you up in anything bad. It's to just highlight you and to get people to be together. So those are some of my big things. I also have some other personal things that are in the works that I'm not ready to quite share about yet. But if you can't tell, my brain works at like 79,000 miles a second. And I'm always thinking about what else can I do? Guys, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting a little bit older, and how much is my brain going to be able to share all this information with other people before it needs to just take a break? And so getting things out both through word and through video is something that's super important to me, to hopefully have people learn from some of my personal experiences or the professional ones.
Okay, there is no way that I am probably one of the few people that will go, what the hell? But that's one of the reasons that I think Jackie and I align so well, and why it is we just are able to support each other, even if we're not always closely supporting. It's there, and we just know it. And that reason is because I too am doing a million things. And I do watch a lot of people say to me, Nick, you're spreading too much, you're doing too much. I will know when I hit my threshold. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
And so I love the thought of what you're going to be doing with the mental health show videos. Our Bipolar Brilliance is a page I started recently, and I am putting a little more focus in there right now because I have closed off some other projects. They've come to an end. And one of the things that I hope to do during that is, as the sessions build out, I want to be able to bring people on to speak for like 10 minutes with the group who are focused on different areas of mental health. I saw the event tomorrow at noon, and unfortunately, I have a co-author. Not unfortunately, but I have a co-author chapter overview, so I shouldn't say that. But I've been wanting to get in touch with Dr. Qureshi because of the space that she's in as well. So I want to say hello to Mr. Jason is in the house. It feels weird calling you Mr. Jason. I won't do that. I'm sorry. But welcome. And tons of comments in here for us to go back on. So we have just about 8 minutes left. Nobody did join us on stage. However, if you have questions, I'm going to keep Jackie up here for a few. So if you do have questions, by all means, go ahead and put them in the comments.
Can I ask a question to the listeners?
Of course.
Okay. So this is something that is super personal to me, and I'm a little bit salty about it. And Nick and I have kind of talked about this as well, is why don't people want to support people's books or listen to their stories when people will say, hey, I support you. I got you. You're my bestie. We're families. How can I help you? And they don't even read something that was 99 cents or free, So if people in the comments are willing to kind of explain your experience with trying to either market yourself or words you've heard from other people on why they don't support you, so we can kind of all be together on this, because I know it's not just me. It's not just Nick. It's not just Gregory shared a couple things, in his community. It is something that happens to all of us. So why do we say we're supporting people and yet we don't? When the power of word or the power of video like this it lasts forever, but it's so personal, guys. So that's my question to the audience. And Nick, I kind of want to turn it on you too, while people are thinking or deciding if they're willing to touch that topic. How do you adjust to that when you know this is your business now? This is not just your side hustle anymore. This is your business. How do you respond when you know some people just are not supporting you?
Um, so I would say that this hasn't come up in my mind before starting the business when I was doing it part time. I'm now running the business, yes. And I have conversations that don't exactly directly address this, but some of what organically comes out of the conversation circulates around that, right? I don't think there is a question out there that anybody could ask me that I would not answer. That's just who I am, right? Um, that being said, I do think time is a concern, and I understand that. Um, I do understand that there's certain algorithm issues, and I accept that. Um, I do not believe in telling somebody you support them if, well, maybe it's the alignment of what I think is support and somebody else perceives as support. So if your way of supporting is showing up on my post and dropping a like within the first 2 minutes of me posting, that's good for you. It
Mhm.
doesn't satisfy my need of support, and I have no problem saying that whatsoever. Thank you for showing up the ways that you feel you are able to show up. Um, I have changed my, I want to say strategy, because I can't look at people as pawns in a game of strategy. I want to say that I have intentionally started unfollowing some people since I started the business. I have started um, purposefully seeking out certain people who don't show up in my feed. I'm very big about showing up, and when you say you're going to show up 100%. Um, I would actually rather, because I noticed something on my posts lately. While I get a lot of reactions, I get very little engagement. And if I do get engagement, the comments are usually great post, love you, Nick, whatever. I've actually started engaging less because I take more time engaging. So my comments will directly tell the person that Nick has actually read the post. And I want to read it because when I stop to think for myself, the thought, the emotions, and the time that I have put in to curating what I'm saying, you don't do me any justice by speed reading scrolling. You actually aren't. You're dishonoring me, right? So I rather honor. So I rather support somebody once a week on a piece that I will say something that will start a conversation and bring people in. And I try to think of who I may want to tag into this post that would add value to it, right? And value people does not mean agreeing, okay? I want to be able to be surrounded by people that are absolutely okay with saying, Nick, I disagree with you. I do not want to be in a crowd of people that think that I am a queen. No, please, I don't want it. So I put a post up just before this, and I know I kind of went at it, and in the video, people are probably like, what is she talking about? Because I'm like, no, I'm blind, I can't unsee. So you brought a post up recently with a little bit of what do you call this? A poll that, I think it might have been a poll, I'm not sure. So that you were kind of maybe a little bit heading back to TikTok, or
Oh,
you
yeah.
were whatever contemplating.
Yeah.
Um, so the I put two videos up for the first time over the last week. I went back to check on it. I really don't go to TikTok. And while I was there, I did a little scrolling. And the more I scrolled, the more I was like, who are these connections? Like, I understand showing up in a more professional manner on LinkedIn. Get it. I understand showing up in a more family oriented um, way on Facebook. I get it. There are different types of platforms. But I have to say, when I still see some of each person within each platform, right? There's still some crossover of their personality to LinkedIn, to Facebook, to Instagram. I went on TikTok and I was like, who the hell are these people? I was like, holy crap. I got 30 seconds, confetti flying everywhere, sex appeal, um, just things I never even thought that person would say. And so my post was kind of like, I thought I was bipolar. I'm like, is this multiple personality disorder? So I think my concern too, and why I might be dropping off a bit in the area of support and visibility, is that I'm not following an algorithm. I'm not following an algorithm going, TikTok style videos is everything LinkedIn wants these days. And I think that I am also not feeding into the I'm going to stay true to my brand, which is me. So if I'm going to post something different every single day about every single different message in my brain, that's what I'm going to do. And so I am pretty okay with growing slowly, um, with people that actually want to grow with me, not people that are trying to use me to outgrow me or further their agenda, or that's not really what I want to do. And I started doing that with shows to an extent as well. If I set my alarm, I have 900 of them, and I can't attend a show and spend at least 15, 20 minutes there and actually thoughtfully make a comment or two that tells you I am actually paying attention to the show, I'm not coming. Because again, I feel, or for those I support, I will clearly say I only have 15 minutes today.
Mhm.
But, when I think of what I do for a living and what it means to me, I don't expect it to mean the same for everyone. Of course not. Right? But don't pretend that it does. That's all I have to say.
I love
I
that.
support people who, there are things that I could never feel the way they feel, but I can't support, like, do not ask me to give you a recommendation if I've never worked with you. Don't. Okay? If I ask you for a testimony and you want to give it to me willingly, great. If you give it to me because you did, great. If I have to ask you for something more than twice, I know that you don't feel it. And if you don't feel it, that's okay too. Get the hell out of my life. Because honestly, you and I are not in alignment anymore. And alignment does not mean that you and I can't have differing opinions. All right? So there's a difference between it. I have values. Everybody has a right to their values. If my values and your values don't align on some level, then you go on your journey and I will go on mine. We wish each other success, and that's it. Sorry, that was a really long explanation. I could say a lot more, and I don't care if we're 2 minutes over because we
Yeah,
were 5 minutes late starting.
exactly. And
All you
I appreciate you talking about that though, Nick, because it's not just about posts, it's not just about shows, it's about asking your friends, especially your circle, guys. Okay, I'm not expecting any millions of my people that I've never really had a talk to or different things to just stop what they're doing and support me or make sure they're there. But thinking about the people that are in your tighter circle, or the people that are in your family network, or the people that constantly ask you for favors or ask you for help, or the people that are, I got your back no matter what, and they don't even ask you how your side business is going, or don't even ask what it was like to be an author, even if they're not a reader, they're not somebody that's going to purchase it. I get that, no pressure. But hey, could I tell somebody about your book, because I don't want to read it, but I know my one friend likes to read, or hey, they love to hear about new people. Those kind of things. I mean, it doesn't just help us, but it fills your soul. I mean, when you do nice stuff to other humans, it actually feels good inside. And so that was kind of my challenge, is like, how do we as professionals not just accept it when our family or friends are not going to support us, but how do we make sure that it doesn't harden us and make us want to not continue to do stuff like that? Because I, again, just like my story said in your trilogy, even if it impacts one person, even if one person shows up, even if one person hears it, that is so vital. And I believe that so strongly. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that and being here. There's a lot of great comments. Brenda Lisa's is pretty awesome too. And I think the difference is intentionality needs to be authentic, like Nick said, and that's the thing. It's like, don't feel the pressure to do it, but just don't pretend you're doing it, like Nick said. Be authentic, enjoy it. And when you can't, you can't. But when you can, do it because it feels good and you might learn some cool stuff too.
Yeah. I do hope that people that feel supported by me feel that way, because it's less about the quantity and more about the quality. Um, and so when they see me show up to a live show or leave a comment on a post, or I don't know, tag somebody into a post or refer somebody to them, or put them in a collaboration chat together, that it is evident that the thought process has a lot of heart behind it. It wasn't just a on the whim thing. And I think that that's where people really realize you care. When I started the business, everybody said, hooray for you. You quit your job. You started a business. I am there to support you. I will say about 20% of those people are still with me. And am I cynical? No. I'm human? Holy crap. Of course I feel it. But I refuse to let myself go there. I refuse to let myself get bitter about it. Um, and it does take discipline to not let myself get there. Right? I think the people that need to support you and will help further your cause, and vice versa with you with them, will come into your sphere.
I love that. So the one thing I want to leave you with, if this is something you are interested in, I know your book is going to be dropping pretty soon. I know you're finishing up on some stuff. If you and some of the co-authors would like to join a July Just Jackson guest show, I would be happy to host you guys. You are absolutely welcome to do that. I would have loved to have been in this anthology with you. But it was not the right time for me. I've told myself I have to do one of those solo books first. So let's connect and see if that works in alignment, even if it's just one or two other of your co-authors. But of course, anybody would be welcome to do that.
That means a lot. I started thinking outside of the box in terms of marketing, because I have to figure out how to give these stories more of what they deserve, which is to be read. I love when people support by purchasing the book, but what I would love even more is that if the purchase of the book was actually by somebody that wants to pick it up and read a story or two, or share it with somebody that will read the story, because I want the stories read more than I want the book purchased. I don't care about the number one bestseller rank. I don't want people to write with me who care about that. I want people to write with me because they care that their story makes it in the hands of the people that would get the most improvement from it. And yes, I might be doing my company and myself a disservice, but that's okay. I am willing to stay small and make big impact and grow beyond and just become another wish-washy publisher. I don't want to do that. So hi, Christopher. We're just wrapping up. I feel like we kept everybody over time. If you're still here, thank you so much. Jackie, thank you with all my heart for that offer. I did reach out to a few people with shows and asked about it. I actually didn't reach out to you, but this is what I mean by when you really care, it comes naturally for you to want to take a next step in the form of support. It just comes, right? And so it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like a pressure. It doesn't feel like obligation. It's just what you want to do because that's what you feel you need to do. So I'm going to put you backstage. Thank you so much. Stay with me for 2 minutes so we could chat. I will wrap up really quick. I promise.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I do want to give a couple of shout outs really quick. Aaron Gibson, Soul My Live, is going to be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Please join us. I have missed him. I know a bunch of you have missed him. He always brings a meaningful mental health show to us. And of course, you definitely get some Friday Night Boogie entertainment. Love it, love it, love it. Um, I also want to say, check out Omar's Zoom party. You can head to his profile and see what that's all about. Uh, Leslie and I do a co-hosting show on Mondays called Mind Over Matters. I feel blessed that she has invited me on to be a co-host. I kick my week off that way, and it personally puts me or helps me to get into the mindset that I need to be in to achieve that week. Um, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody. So honestly, if I did miss you, it wasn't with intent. I've kept everybody so long. I do see Jerry Ryan pop up Jackie as a co-host. I'd be happy to be on Jackie's podcast. That's wonderful. I will put you guys in touch. Jackie is writing. Sorry, Jerry is writing. In We Choose to Be More Than Our Diagnoses, and will be live this Saturday. Nick Nevin Control returns this Saturday at 8 p.m. as well. And I look forward to seeing you all. And I thank you for your patience with me not being live with Nick Nevin Control over the last 6 weeks as I sorted out some personal issues. So with that, have a wonderful evening. Go out there and own your story. And even if it's not a published story, own it in your heart. Put it on paper when you feel you're ready to. Tuck it away, come back and read it at some point in time. You will see your story has changed. But what will not change is that you had owned it and continue to own your life and who you are and how you choose to live it. All right? Wish everyone a great evening. Bye-bye.